Hello, my name is Leah Kaiser, and I will be speaking about the death penalty. Have you ever wondered why offenders of heinous crimes are even allowed to be released back into the public? Have you ever watched this happen and thought, they will just do it again? Well, the death penalty is a system that can combat this fear and ensure the safety of the citizens of the United States. The U.S. system of laws incorporates the death penalty to make sure that justice be served. According to Jesse Chang's article in 2017, Humanity's Subtensions, Culture Theory, and the U.S. Death Penalty Mitigation. In order for jurors to decide whether a human being should live or die, the lawyer told me, justice requires that they know as much as possible about who that person actually is as a human being. This makes it clear that the United States and its death penalty only truly removes the most heinous people from our society. Today, I will prove that our judicial system's use of the death penalty is an ethical practice. The United States has used the death penalty for a very long time. That means that if you live in this country, the system or process of the death penalty in our law affects you. The death penalty ensures that each and every citizen of the U.S. is protected from violent crime, including you. It also ensures that when a violent crime has been done to a citizen, it does not go unpunished or unnoticed. Now, I will define the value object and set up its value hierarchies. I will then discuss the criteria for the value object and discuss arguments in support of my proposition. First, I will define the value object and discuss its hierarchies. The death penalty is a process in our government and judicial system that sentences a person to die for a crime they committed. First, security in this case is the protection from physical and mental injury that individuals in our society receive. The second value, closure in this case, is the acceptance of a violent crime that has been committed. Now that I have discussed the value object and its two value hierarchies, I will switch to speaking about the value criteria. The death penalty should increase the security and protection that individuals in our society received, and the death penalty should provide closure to the victims' families. Now that I have talked about the criteria for the values, I will talk about the applications that support my proposition and prove that the death penalty is an ethical practice. First, the death penalty provides an accurate and effective sense of safety from violent crimes for all citizens in the United States. This is due to many reasons, but mainly because the death penalty eliminates individuals in our society who are dangerous and likely to commit heinous crimes. The death penalty also deters others from committing these same crimes. According to Peter Pastel's article in 1975, the deterrent effect of the death penalty, a statistical test, when applied to data collected for the United States over the past 4 decades, Ehrlich concluded that a deterrent effect is discernible. Ehrlich discovered a statistically significant trade-off between the murder rate and executions per conviction. The trade-off implies that a 1% increase in the execution rate will reduce murders by about 0.06%. This translates into 8 lives saved per execution. So by Ehrlich's theory, every time the death penalty in the U.S. increases when someone is found guilty, the murder rate significantly declines and 8 people are spared. This provides great safety to those of us in society and to the family of the victim. According to Claudia Whitman's article in 2001, The Death Penalty as the Will of the People, what are Americans seeking when they encourage their state or federal government to kill a murderer? Some of the objectives frequently mentioned are prevention of additional offenses, acknowledgement of wrongdoing, and remorse by the murderer. This shows that people prefer murderers to not be put back on the streets. If we continue to implement the process of the death penalty for violent offenders, more and more lives will be spared, as well as more people's emotional sanity. The deterrent effect proves that when we punish those who commit crimes, less people will want to commit heinous crimes. This in turn provides a sense of safety and security for communities in the U.S. and ensures that those of us who perform horrible acts of violence and take life will no longer be able to have the right to life. Due to these reasons, the death penalty is ethical because it provides safety to our country and those of us inside it. Second, the death penalty provides an immense sense of closure to the victims' families, allowing them to accept the damage that was done to their families and those around them. There are many reasons that the death penalty may provide closure to the victims' families, including allowing them to get justice for what has been done to the family. A closure or sense of acceptance may also come to the victim's family because after the death of the offender, it is ensured that no one else will have to suffer from a family member's death the way that they had to. The victim's family could also receive closure solely based off the fact that it provides a sense of ending to the tragedy that occurred. after the execution of the person that committed a violent act against their family, they may find it easier to move on and start over with a sense of justice. When the death penalty is in effect, family members of the victims are also permitted to read statements to the offender of the violent crime. According to Susan Bandes' article in 2009, Victims' Closure in the Sociology of Emotion, advocates of victim impact statements argue that the statements assist with healing and closure because they permit victims and survivors to give choice to their pain and sense of loss in a public setting. This makes it clear that reading a statement about the impact that the offender has on you or your family allows the families of the victims to achieve a sort of peace or ending to the situation. It also makes it clear that finding out the facts about the case and about the offender themselves can be immensely profound to the victims' families. Due to all of these reasons, it is clear that the death penalty is an ethical practice because it begins the process of closure for the families of the victims of violent crimes. After listening to my argument, you should know that the death penalty is an ethical practice in the United States. Today I proved that the death penalty provides a safety net for the citizens in the United States. I also proved that the death penalty provides closure to the victims' families after their loved one has been taken from them. Due to the evidence above, I urge you to vote for the advocate's case that the death penalty is an ethical practice in the United States. Thank you.